That's what I was going to share. The last one is I am annoyed as hell, and it's not really that annoyed, but I'm a little annoyed because I was I was calling my soul back to me, my energy back to me, my power back to me on a regular from incarnations and from ancestral lines and from all dimensions and all planes of existence and all that kind of stuff. I'm calling it back. I want all my power right now, right here, right now. And anything that's in the way of that or that's taking up space or wherever there's blockages, I need to remove so this soul energy can come back and integrate and be part of me, like I desire. And I want to be one. I really do. I want to integrate and become the highest version of myself, the highest version that I can be. And that means facing emotional pains and fixing, erroneous mindset thinking, you know what I mean? And they all can interconnect, and so one fuels another, same with the physical body, even, that's why stress in an area of the body can actually create a disease or a condition within that body when it's being held, that energy is being held within the body. That's where it's because being linked with the emotional body and the mental body. Anyway, no, I've been calling my soul energy back to me. And I was so proud of myself because I finally quit smoking. That's one of the last, things that I needed to get rid of one of my vices that I needed to get rid of. I've healed so many aspects of myself. That was one of the last two. What the other one's food. I can't be emotionally immature about food anymore. For real, it's because it's used as sustenance, nothing more. You can't be used for a coping mechanism in any way. And I've learned from and been cursed, where spells, energetic means of being attached to these things outside of myself. And me and my lineage, I broke them. That's the thing about it. Like I've been getting more disciplined, and I broke them, and I've been breaking these generational curses and spells and energetic, loops, patterns that have been happening across lifetimes and ancestral lineages. And but the thing is, when you call your soul back to you, it can, like I said, it can come back to you in the form of shadow that you have left, a form of energy of your soul energy that may in a different lifetime or whatever, wherever you call it back to you to integrate. Well, it's going to show up as shadow, and the first place it goes to is where my just healed wounds are. So it's like, so not only am I, it's like, but it and it's like, God dang it, I just, yes, but it's still cool because I still was able to integrate that soul energy within me. But it reopened one of my coping mechanisms and one of my, energetic block. One of the things that I used in that, with that energy that came back to me that I'm integrating, and so I got to deal with it all over again. But then that soul energy will be mine, so that's good. Yeah, and I'm back to trying again. It's just like I said, I'm a bit annoyed, like damn it, I learned the lesson. Like I was so glad I quit for 4 days, and I was like, yeah. And then I had I've been having teeth problems, and I had an abscess tooth, and so I was emotionally immature, and that's why I said that energy manifests in your reality in any way that your soul deems fit. It has nothing to do with anything else. It has to do with you manifest it in whatever way that it want that with that energetic frequency. It has its own rules, and it's going to it doesn't manifest in any way that we can think. Like it's going to, this is going to happen. No, no, no. The energy comes back, but it can come out and express and manifest, and it's according to its own frequency that it will manifest. And that's where I'm getting back with this. I'm like, God dang it. Like I fucking healed this already. And now I'm like, but it was but that's fortification. That's spiritual Phoenix mode. Do you got this? Do you really got this? You know what I mean? Well, we're just going to test you and see if you do, but that's what happened. Yeah. I'm a bit annoyed, but I'm not discouraged. That's the cool thing, like, cause all the matrices are gone. And if you know that, you can apply that, which I can. All the fear-based matrices, all the things that like I had lapse of judgment, but there wasn't those matrices in place that would keep me thinking in that same pattern or keep me feeling in that same pattern that they're not being impressed upon me. So it was a lot easier to break and go, well, like. And plus, like I said, I already learned it, but knowing those matrices are gone is good as well. So it helps. It really does. It helps a bunch to know that the things that were there, that were positioned before to hurt us and to make us think certain ways and make us believe certain ways and keep us in certain mind frames and emotional states and physical states, they're gone. They're gone. They have been eradicated. What remains is what remains. There's still dense energies that exist, but the things that were fueling those energies are no longer. The light won, and so you don't have to worry about the power behind that. So it's like I didn't get into depression or just anything like that, because I knew I'd be okay. Like, I just knew I'd be okay. Like, why get angry? There's no reason to be. Like, there's no reason to take out anger on anyone else. It's not, that's pointless. It is. That doesn't help me or anyone else when I do that, and I know that for a fact. Like, that's just clear cut and simple. Like, so I'm not going to get angry when things don't turn out. That's emotional immaturity. you know and that's what I was thinking too. Emotional intelligence is when you learn when to act, when to react, which I guess you never really should react anyway, and that's emotional intelligence as well. But it's knowing when to act and when not to is emotional intelligence. Emotional maturity is when you don't cope with things outside of yourself to deal with an emotion that you're having. And we were conditioned, a lot of us were conditioned and manipulated into doing that. You know what I mean? That's where addictions comes from. Addictions outside of ourselves to some behavior. It doesn't matter what it is. It's something outside of ourselves. We seek validation for our inner self outside of ourselves. And then we transfer our inner, like our validation of our inner self to that outside object that has absolutely no bearing. And so it never works out. Then you're looped in and you're going through it. You keep doing the same thing because you're just, you're trying to solve your problem with something that is not the answer. And so it just keeps going and going and going and going until you go, hey, wait a minute. This ain't working this way. But I had to come in there and share that. Like I said, I'm a little annoyed. I'm still grateful. Like I said, I'm still grateful. I'm never not grateful. That's the thing. I am in a permanent state of gratitude now, and I'm grateful for that. Like, I earned it too. This is all earned shit. Like this last whole year, I have been working my ass off harder. I mean, like, just spiritually trying to grow and trying to integrate my shadow and light, and healing and healing and healing, and then facing things and facing things and facing things, myself, the truth, anything, anything, that was like that. I've been working hard. I've never given up. I've persisted. It's just what I have to do, and I know that if I do it within myself, I do it for everyone, and I do it for Mother Gaia too. And so that's why I'm actually like, that's part of my soul contract, and that's why I've been so gung ho about it, is because I know that if I do it, that others will. It spreads, that others do as well, and Mother Gaia herself, she heals as well. So it's a responsibility. When you have that responsibility, it's kind of a big deal. You know what I mean? Like, if you know enough to know what's going on to that degree, and you know that enough about yourself and the interconnection of it, it makes it a moral obligation, but it's a good moral obligation. It really is. It's something, I'd rather live by than having any kind of self, one person compared to what it truly is. We're all the same, we're all the same and we're not at the same time, but no one is more superior than the other. That is goddamn fact. For real, that is fact. That's when humility is true power, and it really is. When I'm here to heal arrogance and what is it, spiritual ego too. I mean, I can get out of that too, but I'm here to heal a lot of emotions and a lot of dense energies, and like, to feel like, or to compare and to feel like you need to be more than another is something within yourself that's wounded, that needs to be healed, because you shouldn't have to feel that way, and no one should have to feel that way toward you. Because that's just not the way that it works. It's not going to help anything. That doesn't help anything. It doesn't help you, and it doesn't help them. And that's just fact, truth, fact. It's just the way it is. So, I mean, it's an unnecessary thing, and so it needs to be healed wherever the source of it is. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why we're all the fucking same. You know what I mean? Like, and that's where the true power really is. The true power lies in knowing that. And that's humility. I've been put in so many situations in my life where I had to be humbled, like major humbled, you know what I mean? Like, and I was grateful for each one of them, and it was major human. I mean, like, but each time, that's where the true power lies, is when you realize you're just the same as the next person. You know what I mean? You're just trying to get along like the other one, like the one next to you. Y'all just trying to live life and do the best you can with what you got. And that's all anybody can do. Worrying about what anybody else is doing is a completely fruitless action. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help anything. So it needs to be left behind. It's unnecessary. It's yeah, it's irrelevant. It's inapplicable. It should be inapplicable because it really doesn't benefit anyone, anything to be that way in those ways. You know, that's why humility is, yeah, like I said, humility is the thing, man. It's fucking cool. It's where power truly lies. That's when you really gain power, is when you realize that you are just the same as everyone else, and you can stand in that knowing of being the same as everyone else. When you can be a representative of the whole, knowing that you're the same as the guy next to you. You know what I mean? And but you've got understanding and wisdom where you can be representative of all. Not being better, that defeats the purpose of what I'm saying. You know what I mean? The true power lies in humility. It really does. Humility is right here too. Every time in my heart, right here. You know, like every time I need to get out anything, whenever I think of humility, I go straight to my heart, and I just let everything go. Like when I'm like, okay, humility, because humility is true power. It really is. I mean, it's what is most important in the situation with others. You know what I mean? There's tons of things that are important, but humility is just to first put yourself exactly where they are. You know, then empathy comes in, and then you can go with compassion. You know what I mean? And on and on. Yeah. So, just wanted to share that bit about the annoying part. I'm still it's just so funny, like to realize what's going on compared to what we've thought it's been. You know, it's completely different. It's completely different. And we were manipulated and conditioned into believing how we believed. And it's completely different. It's heart-centered and out. It's like a lotus flower. It comes from out. We've been up here too much, looking at things and not paying attention to our own bodies, to our fellow people, to the land, to the harmony, you know, to the things we need to. We've been dismissing and ignoring and avoiding, and that hasn't helped anything but keep us in a state of where we weren't happy. You know what I mean? So yeah, and so like to come back now that we're in the Aquarian age, and to come back to heart-centered living and heart-centered existence, soul inspired living. You know, that's the spiritual. That's like our original blueprint was set for. You know, like we were supposed to be soul having a human experience, but it turned into us humans having a human experience, pretty much. You know, and now we're bringing it back to soul having a human experience. You know, keeping it with soul in one, and that's where you go to your heart. You go to your heart, and you'll find the way every time. Just fall into your heart, and you'll find your way every time. You can't, and trust that that's what it is. That's because when you're in your heart, I mean, like breathe into your heart, breathe out of your heart, go into your heart. You're on a trust frequency, you're on a love frequency, you're on an unconditional, and you can trust in that. Knowing when you're there, you don't need to fear anything. You don't need to worry about anything. You don't need to doubt anything. You don't need to stress about anything. It's a trusting frequency that you can trust in. It's something that once you get to your heart, any thoughts that come up, any emotions that you feel, they're legit. You know what I mean? Like, because if you are in your heart, if you're tensing up in any area of your body, that's not good. You have to be fully in your heart when you do it. You go, breathe in and out of your heart once, you know what I mean? And anything that comes to mind is truth because you're in your heart. Darkness can't go in your heart because you're made of God and you're made of source. And so just trust in that. Go there and trust in that.